Yes, Majority Leader.
Hold your horses.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And let me first thank the Leader of Minority for having raised this issue. And indeed, I had a discussion on WhatsApp last night, very late at night. I think it was about 1:45 a.m. with the Leader of Minority over this issue when I saw his text and I noticed he had not slept. And we were worried, Honorable Speaker, that the same thing that happened last year is likely to happen this year if we do not stem this thing in the bud as early as now. Because as the Leader of Minority says, it is true. There are people who are propagating the lie that there is already a finance bill in the House with all manner of taxes. And you know, Honorable Speaker, where I come from, there's a saying that goes that otakanywereire do ekerita. The direct translation of that is the English saying that he who wears the shoe knows where it pinches the most. It is members of this House who can tell you where it pinches the most when we allow disinformation, misinformation to take root and propaganda, Honorable Speaker. And it is sad, Honorable Speaker, as the Leader of Minority has said, that it is the people who ought to know better who are propagating these lies. People who have even served in this House as members of Parliament. And you see them all over the media alleging all manner of taxation that is not before the House. I don't know whether they work in Treasury to know what Treasury is going to bring. The National Treasury is even yet to table the estimates for the next financial year that will then inform what needs to be financed. Because a finance bill is a consequence of what is to be expended by government, then government decides this is how we intend to raise revenue. And that is why is a statement on revenue raising measures that the Cabinet Secretary comes to read in at the beginning of June. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, is just to improve on Kenyans. One, not to believe the lies. Two, to fact check. Honorable Speaker, last year, 2024, Kenyans were fed with all manner of disinformation, falsehoods on what was contained in the finance bill. The few offensive clauses that were there in the finance bill, a week or 2 weeks before consideration of that finance bill in this House, none other than the chair of the Finance Committee informed the country of all the retinue of amendments that were being proposed to deal with those things that Kenyans considered offensive, like taxation on bread. You remember the taxation on motor vehicles, and all those things were removed. But Kenyans ended up saying, reject, do not amend. Honorable Speaker, if this House is told to reject every law and not to amend, then we have no business having a parliament in this country. Because legislation or the legislative process begins with legislative proposals, which are then amended as informed by Kenyans during public participation. Honorable Speaker, I do not need to belabor what happened last year, and we need not go to that pain, back to that pain. But we must inform Kenyans that we are in an era of disinformation and misinformation, especially on social media. But unfortunately, many of our colleagues in the fourth estate also pick up from that and report what is being reported on social media as lies as if it is truth. And Honorable Speaker, the fourth estate has a greater responsibility to inform Kenyans on the truth more than anybody else, Honorable Speaker. What we say on this floor, Honorable Speaker, is on record. If I lie, even 100 years from today, Kenyans will get to know whether myself or the Honorable Junet lied. So when the Honorable Junet says there is no finance bill, there is none as we speak. And when the finance bill is proposed and it comes before the House, it will not be a secret. It will be published. And Honorable Speaker, I want to implore and thank the clerk's office when we did the tax amendment laws last year, after the fall of the finance bill, we did the business laws 1 and 2, the tax procedures amendment bill of 2024, and the tax amendment laws of 2024. When we did that, Honorable Speaker, we allowed the National Treasury to first go out and inform Kenyans what they intended to do and get the views of Kenyans. We then did a very elaborate public participation through the leadership of the Finance and National Planning Committee under the leadership of Chairman Kimani. And eventually we were able to pass those laws on the 4th of December last year without incidents. Honorable Speaker, I have said before, those 4 pieces of legislation were 70% of what was contained in the finance bill. Yet they passed without incidents. 70%. Therefore, if the 2024 finance bill was as offensive as those who propagated the campaign of disinformation did, then the 4 finance laws, the 4 laws that we passed in December, would be hurting Kenyans today, but they are not.
Wind up.
Part of the benefits, Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, was the tax waivers that Kenyans are enjoying today. Tax waivers that they were denied in June of 2024 through the finance bill, but they had to wait until December 27 for those tax amendment laws to become effective, for them to enjoy the tax waivers. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, let me support what the Honorable Judetta has said and implore on Kenyans to fact check. When bills are published, please make a point of visiting the parliamentary website. It will have bills. Those bills have, at the back of every bill, has objects of a bill. If you do not understand what is in the bill, just go to the last page and read the objects of a bill, and you'll be able to see what is intended to be changed by that particular legislative proposal. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Kimani, I will not open debate on this. You are the chair of the committee.
Yes.
And I want to speak from the authority of the chair that I have not approved any finance bill to come to this house. Neither have I approved any request for taxation measures to be brought to this house for your debate, approval, or rejection. Yes, Kimani?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. From the other side, I would like to thank my leader, minority leader, for raising this at the floor of the House. The incident, Honorable Speaker, the leader of minority is speaking to, is a show on NTV called Fixing the Nation. And I must congratulate Nation Media